Okay, so I'm going to dig in. So good. It's very refreshing, so that's what I like about orange pudding. Hi everybody, welcome to Cooking with Taz. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a delicious dessert. So it's going to be orange pudding. After making the pudding, I'm not going to serve the pudding in a ceramic bowl or in a ramekin. Instead, I'm going to serve the pudding in its most authentic way in an orange bowl. Yes, that's possible. So for making orange pudding, I have taken 4 navel oranges. So these are pretty big size. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop off the top part of these oranges and then scoop out the fruit or the flesh out of it, so that will create a hollow space which will act like a cup or a bowl. And then after I make the pudding, I'm going to pour the pudding into that and then I'll keep it in the refrigerator until it sets. Yes, so that's how we are going to serve this delicious orange pudding. So let's get started. This is going to be a pretty simple recipe. So first I'm going to cook milk along with sweetened condensed milk. So instead of sugar, I'll be using sweetened condensed milk. So that will give a nice rich and creamy texture and flavor to this pudding. As a thickening agent, I'll be using Agar Agar, or it's also called China grass. So here's the Agar Agar strips that are the strands that I have. So this is basically 100% vegetarian. It's basically a seaweed. So first we need to cook these Agar Agar strands in water till it's completely dissolved, and then I'll add that to the pudding. And then we'll keep it in the refrigerator until it sets well. So let's see how. Here are the Agar Agar strands. So for thickening the pudding, we need around ½ cup of Agar Agar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around 2-inch long of these strands and make into ½ cup. And then I'm going to cook that in water. So using a scissor, so let's cut around 2-inch long. I'm going to measure this, so I need ½ cup of these Agar Agar strands. Okay, so now this is perfect. I'm going to cook these in around ½ cup of water and let it completely dissolve in water. Alright, so here are the oranges. So next let's scoop out the fruit or the flesh out of these oranges, and into the hollow space we'll pour the pudding. So these oranges have to sit stable. So for that I'm going to cut the bottom part, a little bit of the bottom part, so that it will be stable. So I'm gonna cut like this, so it will sit really well, like this, okay? So I'm gonna do that with all the oranges. So next, I'm gonna cut the top part, like this. And using a spoon, I'm going to scoop out this fruit. Okay, so gently using a spoon, scoop out the fruit. So as you scoop out, you can see it will release the juice. So we'll be using that for making the pudding. Okay, so this looks good. So now you have a good hollow space inside, and this acts like a natural orange cup. Here is something you should keep in mind while scooping out the flesh. When you scoop out the flesh, don't apply too much pressure at the bottom, because we want the bottom to be quite intact, because we'll add the pudding into this. So this is pretty good. As you can see, the bottom is intact, and also I've created a good hollow space, and I've scooped out all the flesh, and here is the freshly squeezed orange juice. So next, using my hand, I'm going to squeeze out all the juice, and then I'm going to strain this juice and discard the skin. So I'm going to strain the juice into a cup. So after you have strained all the juice, we can discard the skin. So this is the freshly squeezed orange juice. So here are the orange bowls, and don't discard the top part, because when we serve the pudding, we can keep the top part like this, and this will look really pretty. So this will make a beautiful presentation. Okay, so now let's start making the pudding. I'm going to cook the milk and condensed milk. So place a saucepan over medium heat. So to the saucepan, I'm going to add 2 cups of milk, or half liter of milk. So you can use either skim milk or full fat milk or whole milk. And to this, I'm going to add around half cup of sweetened condensed milk. So here is the sweetened condensed milk. So around half cup. So this is based on your preference or your sweet level. You can add accordingly. So this is a 300 ml can. So I'm going to add half of it, around 150 ml. So combine it well and let the milk and condensed milk cook for a few minutes. We don't want the milk to come to a boil. While the milk is cooking, I'm going to cook Agar Agar strands in water. So here is the half cup Agar Agar strands. I'm going to add it to a saucepan, and I'm going to also add half cup of water. So half cup of water here. So using a spoon, give it a good stir. So when you cook this for a few minutes, this will start to dissolve. So we want all the Agar Agar strands to dissolve completely in water. So it will take around 10 minutes. As you can see, the Agar Agar strands have almost dissolved. Just we have to cook for a couple more minutes. So this looks pretty good. So remove this from the heat, and I'm going to add this to the cooked milk and condensed milk. Over here, milk and condensed milk are cooking well. They are getting along really well. So give it a taste, and if you want more sweet, you can add a condensed milk accordingly. So I've added around 150 ml, around half cup I would say. But if you want more, you can add 3/4 cup of condensed milk. So I'm adding the dissolved Agar Agar strands to the cooked milk and condensed milk. Give everything a good mix. So this looks good. We don't want the milk to come to a boil, so I'm going to remove the pan from the heat. Here is the cooked milk and condensed milk. I've also added the dissolved Agar Agar strands. So let it cool down for a few minutes before adding the freshly squeezed orange juice. It's very important that the milk has to cool down. If you add the orange juice to the hot milk, it will curdle. So we don't need that. So it's been around 15 minutes and the milk has cooled down. So this is the perfect temperature. So now I'm going to add the freshly squeezed orange juice and give it a good stir. Okay, so it has turned out pretty good. As you can see, after adding orange juice, everything looks great. So guys, please be careful. Don't add the orange juice to hot milk. If you add that, it will curdle. So that's the only thing you need to remember while making this orange pudding. So next, I'm going to pour this into our amazing orange bowls. Okay, so now that's the fun part. So add the pudding to the top of the orange balls. So after pouring the pudding to the 4 orange bowls, I still got some pudding left in the saucepan. So this I'm going to pour into a ramekin or ceramic bowl. So next, let's keep these into the refrigerator and let it set well. It will take around an hour to 2 hours. So I've placed the puddings into the refrigerator and I'm gonna wait for an hour to 2 hours until the pudding has set well. That's gonna be a long wait, but it's totally worth the wait. It's been an hour and I just took the orange pudding out of the refrigerator and I checked it and it has set really well. So look at these delicious orange puddings. So as you can see, it has a very nice creamy consistency. It's not too thick. So this is the right consistency I'm looking for. So I'm gonna give a taste. Yum. It's super refreshing. I'm gonna finish all these in just one sitting. Here you have it, friends. refreshing, delicious and easy to make orange pudding. So since we have poured the pudding into these beautiful orange bowls, these look absolutely stunning and makes a great presentation, and this will be a star dessert for any kind of parties. So I've used Agar Agar strands as the thickening agent. If you don't have Agar Agar strands, feel free to use gelatin. So this is a very simple recipe. So I use this recipe for making different kind of puddings. So in this recipe I've used orange juice. If you want to make apple pudding, you can add pureed apples to the cooked milk and condensed milk. So literally you can add any kind of pureed fruits and you will get different kind of puddings. And in some recipes I also add ground almonds, ground pistachios, saffron strands. That will make the pudding even more delicious. So there's a lot of possibilities. So do give this recipe a try and let me know your feedback. So I'll be back with more videos. Until then, happy cooking and bye. Okay, so I'm going to dig in. So good. It's very refreshing, so that's what I like about orange pudding. It's absolutely yum.